Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to this quick overview of what's heading to Update 7 for Planet Coaster 2 and a special little sneak peek at something more to come. As always, this update is going to come with a pile of bug fixes, optimizations, and all that good stuff, and then as soon as we get a better look at that, we'll be looking at it here on the channel. But this is the cliff notes for some of the bigger features, and honestly, it's a list of features that I didn't think we'd get, but happy to have. It's a bingo card that I would not have filled out. The first thing is 3-axis grid movement, which is a fancy way of saying that your wall pieces can now be moved around in any direction. This is kind of huge, actually. In the demonstrations they show in this video, they mostly just show whole buildings being tilted a little bit, and that's kind of cool for, like, you know, if you want to just a slight slant on your western buildings, or if you're doing like a creepy rundown village or something like that, it's going to be really useful. But I'm assuming that you can now just place a single wall and rotate it any which way. And that's kind of big, really, for roofs, for the interior conal buildings, all that kind of stuff. It's going to make a huge change, I think, to how we move forward building buildings. Now, they don't mention that scale works with these, so I don't necessarily know where that's going to happen. That would be really great, because the different textures you'd be able to get from scaling walls would be awesome. But even just being able to rotate walls on 3 axes is kind of huge, and a feature I'm very much looking forward to. Again, one that I didn't really have on the radar, but happy to see it come to the game. Next up, a new way to place down paths. There is a terrain hugging feature. It's known as conforming, so you can select terrain style conforming when placing down paths. And if you have some slight sort of lilting, rolling hills in your park, and you place down path using this conforming tool, it will hug the paths and will actually get it will hug the terrain and will actually get paths that are angled to the terrain and aren't sort of smooth, that the guests will still walk on. Again, really lovely feature that I didn't really think about, but now seeing it, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. You know, if you ever want to do like nature trails, or even just, you know, a slight movement in the queue line, again, a lot of this is leaning towards like spooky vibes for me. You know, you just want that slight sort of it's creepy through the graveyard type thing. This is actually a really great way to do it. So very excited for that feature. I think it'll look great with natural paths as well. You won't have to always keep your natural grounds flat. I'm just happy to see this one come. And another one as well that has been a huge request for people, I'm very happy to see it, is a better way to make cattle pens. And the way they're doing this is by having a corner style option. So at the moment in the game, you can kind of force corners or you rounded corners. There's a lot of work moving around nodes. If you're a fan of Taggy, you'll have seen countless videos on how to sort of fudge this stuff, but now there's a corner style pointed, which allows you to create square corners when working with paths, and this seemingly works here on the queue path tool as well, which means we can make honest to goodness cattle pens, and now we can have square paths, we can have the curbs off, we can have the railings off. I think that's it. Is there anything else we can't do with paths that we want to be able to do? Oh, how about recoloring them all? Yes, there's a great one. So now every single path texture in the game is recolorable. This is huge, even just for little subtle changes in brick. There's a couple of the brick patterns in the game that are amazing, but they're really orangey. Now we're going to be able to bring those down into like a nicer bluer grey tone. Again, really great option. They show it here with a beautiful sort of rainbow brick road. They're always going to show these features off with like real extreme like turning the whole building upside down or creating rainbow paths, but you have to think about what this means for us more realistic builders, or when I try and do realistic builds, you're just going to have to get a subtle tints and colour changes in the paths. It's going to really open up a lot of options for some of the paths that aren't really used that much because their base colour is a little bit too garish. We have a new platform. It's called the Radial moving platform, and it kind of makes a rocking motion, like the way they describe it is using it like a joystick that moves around, which is great. It has speeds, and then obviously the further away the thing you attach to it makes the bigger movement. So if you have something very close, such as this cauldron here, it'll just sort of wobble around, which you can kind of do with a couple of platforms being stacked at the moment. I saw a few people do it with like a boat rocking, that was really quite neat. But now you could also move this further away, and you would get like a whirlpool effect, I guess. It would just sort of move around a central point but further away. More options for these so that Taggy can make cool stuff that we can copy. I'm always happy to see them. Challenge mode we talked about in our last update video. That is going to be coming in update 7. It actually looks quite fun. It might be something we play here on the channel. Please let me know if you'd be interested in us having a go at this. I'm never really one for the career type stuff, but this, which is basically sandbox but with cash and pointers, might be quite a fun way to design a small park. I don't know. Here it shows you as you play. The challenges start off pretty easy, like placing down rides, placing down toilets, and then as you keep playing they get a little bit more difficult, like building coasters with certain stats and what have you. I think it might be a good fun way to play. It gives you a little focus. I know a lot of people are a big fan of this mode in other Planet games, so I'm happy to see it come here for them. And finally, we get this very, very short tease of a paid content DLC that's coming. Unfortunately, I can't say much about this just yet, but I'll have more news here on the channel for you on September 9th. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. I'm very excited to show you more of this. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.